Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, whenever and wherever you go back to the beta plan, playing Planescape Torment. Last time we left off, we killed some zombie workers, and we acquired a key because of that.
I'm gone.
Psst. Some advice, Chief. I keep it quiet from here on. No need to put any more corpses in the dead book than necessary, especially the femmes. Plus, killing them might draw the caretakers here. I don't think you mentioned it before. Who are the caretakers? They call themselves a dustman. You can't miss them. They have an obsession with black and rigor mortis of the face. They're an adult bunch of ghoulish death worshippers. They believe everyone should die. Sooner better than later. I'm confused. Why do these dustmen care if I escape? Weren't you listening? I said the Dusties believe everybody's gotta die. Sooner better than later. You think the corpses you've seen are happier in the dead book than out of it? These corpses I've seen here, where did they all come from? Death visits the plains every day, Chief. These shamblers are all that's left of the poor sods who sold their bodies to the caretakers after dead. But anyway, before you said something about making sure I didn't get any female corpses? Why? What? You serious? Look, Chief, these dead chits are the last chance for a couple of hardy bashers like us. We need to be chivalrous. No one kicking them up for keys, not lopping their limbs off, things like that. Last chance? What are you talking about? Chief, they're dead. We're dead. See where I'm going? Eh? Hey? No. No, I don't actually. Chief, we already got an opening line with those limping ladies. We're all died at least once. We'll have something to talk about. They'll appreciate men with our kind of death experience. Wait, didn't you say before that I'm not dead? Well, alright, you might not be dead, but I am. And from where I'm standing, I wouldn't mind sharing a coffin with some of these fine, pseudo-eyed cadavers I see here. Mort starts clacking his teeth as if in anticipation. Of course, the caretakers would have to part with them first, and that's not likely. Alright, I'll try and remember that. Look, Chief, it's obvious you're still addled after your kiss with death. So I got two bits of advice for you. One, if you got questions, ask me. Alright? Alright, if I'll have any questions, I'll ask you. And second, if you have as forgetful as you seem to be, start writing stuff down. Whenever you come across something that might be important, jot it down so you don't forget. If I had that journal I was supposed to have. With me, I would do that. Start a new one then, Chief. No loss. There's plenty of parchment and ink around here, at least. Alright. Couldn't hurt. I'll make a new one then. Use it to keep track of your movements. If it ever start to get cloudy on important things like who you are, or more importantly, who I am, use it to refresh memory. Alright. I got it. Let's go.
Updated my journal.
And voila! There we get one of the most classical lines in the games. Updated my journal. And yeah, if you hadn't realized yet, Mort over here, the good man, is chaotic good. Yeah. You know what? Let's have some fun. The shambling corpse gazes at you with vacant eyes. Her skin is a paper thin, almost wispy. It's like someone draped a sheet of cobwebs across her frame. I would say silk. The number 594 has been scratched onto her forehead with a charcoal pencil. Of course, you're not going to say cobwebs to such a lovely lady as you. So, doing anything later? The corpse continues to stare at you. Oh, well then. Psst. You see the way she was looking at me? Huh? You see that? The way she was following the curve of my octuple bone? You mean that blank-eyed beyond the grave stare? What? Are you blind? She was counting me out. It was shameless the way she wanted me. Think you're imagining things. See the zombie? A corpse. A dead person. You probably didn't even register into her senses. Wait, yeah, whatever. When you've been dead as long as I have, you know the signals. They may be too subtle for you to pick up on, But that's why I'll be spending my nights with some luscious, recently dead chit while you're standing around going, huh? What's going on? Where's my memories? Whatever, more, let's go. Yeah, this is a lovely, lovely pairing for all eternity.
Done.
Didn't you have something in your hands? If I remember, this corpse is lumbering around a triangular path. Once it reaches one of the corners of the triangle, it pauses, then turns and staggers towards the next corner. It has 965 tattooed on the side of the skull. As you approach, it halts and stares at you. Looked like someone forgot to tell this sod to stop walking the rule of 3. What do you mean? These corpses don't have much left in the attic, so they can't do more than one task at a time. When they're told to do something, they'll keep doing it until someone tells them to stop. This poor sod probably finished some task and they forgot to tell him. You said something about the rule of 3? What do you mean by that?
Updated my journal.
Well, the rule of 3 is one of those laws around the plains about things tending to happen in threes. So if everything composed of 3 parts, or there's always 3 choices, and so on and so forth. You don't sound like you hold much faith in that. It's a little wash if you ask me. If you look for any number and try to attach some greater meaning to it, you're going to find plenty of coincidences. Let's see. Before you said something... Nah, you know what? Never mind. Alright, come on, let's just keep on moving. Oh, things to loot. Nope. Thought things to loot. Nothing to loot. Great disappointment. Ooh. There we do have something to loot. We have a receiving logbook. People that have been received dead and how to prepare them. I guess I will hold on to this. Ooh, the corpse is shuffling from slab to slab, bandaging the corpses lying there. The number 396 is carved into his left temple and his lips are stitched closed. You notice the corpse is carrying a roll of bandages in its hand. The bandages look usable. Mind if I borrow these bandages? The corpse continues to stare at you. Try and take the bandages from the zombie. You snake your hand out and take the roll of bandages from the corpse's hands. The corpse doesn't even seem to notice. It continues going through the motions of bandaging the bodies. Leave the corpse in peace.
I'm gone.
No need to
All right.
destroy it. We are not that chaotic yet, unless my watchers demand it. Let me know in the comments. As we start our early looting in the game. Wow.
Done.
But well, the good things about this, or the unusual things, aside from us being dead and having a floating skull as one of our first companions, the interesting part will come a little later. But in this area, don't you worry. The number 1201 has been inked in the forehead of the corpse, and the ink has run down its eyes, cheeks, and jaws. As you follow the ink here's down the corpse's face, you notice it has run into stitching sealing the corpse's lips, and has caught on what looks like the corner of a note stuck in the corpse's mouth. Try and pull the note out. The note has mingled with the ichor and in the zombie's mouth. If you try to pull the paper out through the corpse stitches, it would tear the paper to shreds. Hacking up the corpse to get it in, and it looked like it would destroy the note. You'll need to find a delicate way to remove the stitches before removing the note. Oh, use the scalpel to cut through the stitches. Now this is of course a very, very, very minor example, because the game knew that we would have a scalpel in our inventory as we just picked it up. But yes, even those type of checks are made. Do you see what I mean by one of the best RPGs ever, and my favorite RPGs ever? And that last thing is of course a more subjective thing, but it is very, very good. Despite if you've never heard of it, or if you're not very much into fantasy, you will consider this a good RPG. You will. I demand it. Let's continue. Leave the corpse in peace. Well, this man doesn't look like a corpse. Dhall. The scribe looks very old. His skin is wrinkled and has a slight trace of yellow. Like old parchment, charcoal grey eyes lie within an angular face, and a large white beard flows down the front of his robe like a waterfall. His breathing is ragged and irregular. but even his occasional coughing does not slow the scratching of his quill pen. Greetings. Oh, Chief, what are you doing? He's going to speak with the scribe. He might know something about how I got here. Look, rattling your bone boxes with Dusties would be the last. Before Mort can finish his rant, the scribe begins coughing violently. After a moment or two, the coughing spell dies down and the scribe's breathing resumes its ragged wheeze. And we especially shouldn't be swamping the chance with sick Dusties. Come on, let's leave. The quicker we can get this place alive, the better. Before Mort can finish, the scribe's grey eyes flicker to you. The weight of years hang heavy upon me, restless one. He places down his quill. But I do not yet count deafness among my ailments. Restless one, do you know me? Know you? Aye. There's a trace of bitterness in the scribe's voice as he speaks. I have never known you, restless one. No more than you have known yourself. He is silent for a moment. For you have forgotten, have you not? Who are you? As always, the question. And the question as always. He bows slightly, but the movement suddenly sends him in a bout of coughing. He pauses for a moment, catches his breath. I am Dhall. Perhaps you can answer some questions for me, Dhall.
Updated my journal.
Very well. What do you wish to know? What is this place? You're in the mortuary, restless one. Again you have come. Before he can finish, Dhall breaks into a fit of coughing. After a moment he calms himself and his breathing resumes its ragged wheeze. This is the waiting room for those about to depart the shadow of this life. Restless one? Restless is as good a term as any. Dhall draws a ragged breath. Something keeps you here, does it not? Something that must be resolved. Some passion that must be quenched before you can reach true death. True death? True death is non-existence. A state devoid of reason, of sensation, of passion. Dhall coughs and then gives a ragged breath. State of purity. Oh, sounds like oblivion to me. Why would anyone want that? Is it worse than remaining in the shadow of what life once was? I think not. Life once was a shadow of life. How many times have you said that? What do you mean by a shadow of life? Yes, a shadow, you see, restless one. This life is not real. Your life, my life, they are shadows, flickerings of what life once was. This life is where we end up after we die. And here we remain trapped, caged, until we can achieve the true death. What makes you think this life isn't real? What makes you think this life is real? Look inside yourself. Do you not feel something lacking? Dhall shakes his head. This is purgatory. There is only sorrow here, misery, torment. These are not the elements that make up life. They are the part of the cage that traps us in this shadow. I think your fatalism has gotten the better of you. These are elements or part of life, but not the whole of it. Dhall shakes his head. Passions carry weight. They anchor many to this shadow of life. As long as one clings to emotion, they will be continually reborn into this life. Forever suffering, never knowing the purity of true death. I see. And how does one escape this cycle of rebirth and achieve this true death, according to you? Kill your prince. Strip yourself of the need for sensation. When you are truly cleansed and the cycle of rebirth will end, and you achieve peace. Dhall sighs. It sounds like a death rattle in his throat. Past these shells of ours, past the eternal boundary, lies the peace that all souls seek. Eternal boundary? The boundary between the shadow of this life and a true death. Right, I see. So I had some questions. Very well. What do you wish to know? Do you know who I am?
Updated my journal.
I know scant little of you, restless one. I know little more of those that have journeyed with you, and who now lie in our keeping. Dhall sighs. I ask that you no longer ask others to join with you, restless one. Where you walk, so walks misery. Let your burden be your own. And that is a foreshadowing to the past, to the present, and the future. If you are still doubting about this game being not dark enough for you, I hope that the Dusties give you a little bit of a nice guff feeling. A little warm goosebumps. Because if you ever wanted to find someone more macabre, no, macabre would be the wrong word, more morose than the Dusties, I wish you good luck. It will be hard pressed to do so. There are others who have journeyed with me, and they are here.
Updated my journal.
Do you not know the woman's corpse interred in the memorial hall below? I had thought that she traveled with you in the past. Dhall looks like he is about to start coughing again, then catches his breath. Am I mistaken? Where is her body? The Northwest Memorial Hall on the floor below us. Check the beers there. Her name should be on the memorial plaque. Perhaps that will revive your memory. You said there were others? Who else is here? Doubtless there are, but I know not their names nor where they lie. One such as you has left a path many have walked. Few have survived. All justice around you. All death come here. Some must have traveled with you once. Now, before I go any further in asking questions, and you're wondering, is every dialogue like this? No. This is one of the longer dialogues. This is the intro of the game, and of course, intros are always a bit lengthy. There are some dialogues that I remember 1, 2, 3, about I would say a dozen or so that about this length. Most of them are a little bit short, or are in a way less necessary to read. But we'll get to that. Don't worry. But I hope you are getting a little bit of a feeling. So let me go ahead and be a little bit quicker about it. So you sound ill, are you not well? I am now closer to death, restless one. I will not be long before I pass before the eternal boundary and find the peace I have been seeking. I tire of this mortal sphere. Dhall gives a ragged sigh. The plains hold no more wonders for one such as I. Yeah, I'm not gonna tell him I will help him kill him, because something tells me that's going to attract some attention. So, can you tell me how to get out of here? The front gate is the most obvious exit, but they will not let anyone other than Dustin pass. Dhall breaks into a ragged cough, then continues. One of the guides by the front gate has a key to it, but it's unlikely he'll open it for you unless you're extremely persuasive. Farewell then, Dhall. Now, persuasive we are not. We don't have the charisma, I can tell you already, but there are many ways to escape. And I'm going to show a few of them, but they won't even be all, because, as you already said, you have to be persuasive. And charisma we don't have. But all I wanted to show you, let's look at our journal. Our journal has our quest, find Ferret, and find your missing journal. Very nice. But that's not all. Also, it shows you the beasts. Mort, nameless one. But those are the PCs. How about the NPCs? The zombies that we already met. Also, however, Dhall. Important NPCs, they all have their own little portraits and their little own descriptions. It is incredible detail. And of course you also have your journal, which actually literally tells me. I asked Dhall and he knew me, and he responded that he knew little about me, blah 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 blah. Yes, all that we have done in the past is also recorded in journal, not just your quests. Isn't this game one of the best you've ever seen?
Done. Alright. I'm gone.
Alright.
I'm gone.
I'm not sure if this room had anything of value. Perhaps down here. Must be, because there's only one man in it. Well, not really a man. More of a zombie. This huge corpse is standing silently in the corner of the room, facing the wall. He looks to have been a heavy-set man in his early years, and judging by the condition of the body, he died only recently. The freshly stitched number on his forehead reads 1664. This corpse looks like it's serving as a librarian, for it's carrying a huge staff of books in its arm. Examine the books. The books appear to be old mortuary ledgers. None of them are of any particular interest. As you search for the text, however, you notice a loose page folded between two of the books. You are suddenly struck with the feeling that someone tucked it in there to hide it. Take the page. The page doesn't look like it belongs with the ledgers. It looks like it belongs in the logbook. The tear is clean, as with a knife, so you suspect the page was removed on purpose. Read through it. You take a moment to read through the page. It's a list of dead bodies brought to the mortuary and logged in the receiving room. All the entries appear to be recent arrivals. But that is not the best way to look through it, and that's also what it said. If you want to look at something, you do it here. So, they give you a number. They tell you when you died. The night, the 5th, you were drunk, you had a chest wound, cause of death, mauling, abyssai. And what that is, well, we will soon find out. Collector was Pox, and he got 3 common pays for it. But yeah, most of it, however, is not by Pox. They were collected by Ferrot. Ferrot. Sorry, that was a little click. Ferrot. And once again, Ferrot. So, Ferrot is a collector that's doing very, very well. Not only that, skeleton, dissected corpse. Long knife mark evident from dissection, but the dissection was not thorough enough. Copper earring found lodged in the abdomen. Earring has been locked in the southeast preparation room. Have the initiate from the third circle examine it. It has strange marking like those contract worker 79. So we have a very strange earring, and we need to find contract worker 79. Very nice. Also, scars do not appear to be cause of death. Shock trauma. Interesting. Also, we have Age of Shell prevents identification once, twice. Here I can't see it, and thrice then, yeah. So, a lot of very old corpses brought in by Ferret. How is that possible? Shady practices seem to be about for people that collect money for the corpses that they bring in to the Dusties. Well, that is a puzzle, isn't it? I'm sorry that this episode was a lot of text, but I promise you that the next episodes are going to be less text and more interesting little quests, because I know what lies ahead. I say thank you for watching, and remember, great peril yields great beauty.